What's up, guys? Welcome to a new video. Today I'm gonna walk you through the way I trade, the way I do it, um, the way I use a lot of time frames, and just my general way of trading. I'm gonna do some live streams too in the future, um, but for now I'm just gonna show you on video. Also, maybe this might be a very long video, maybe going over certain setups that I would take and maybe wouldn't take because maybe. For example, if you see this where it's just a little different, maybe you wouldn't take this or you would want to know if I would take this, so I'm gonna cover a lot of it. Um, the first thing that I want to say is this is the way I trade, this is the way that works for me. I am profitable and I do it my way. You don't have to agree with the way I do it. You can do it in a different way and we don't have to agree. And we can both be correct, we can both be profitable. So if you don't agree with me, the way I do it, you don't have to tell me. Because respectfully, I don't care. But anyways, let's get into it. I just want to maybe help people that are just starting out or don't really know what to do, this and that. First thing, my time frames. You can see I have a shitload of time frames. You might think, what? Why have you got the 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 18, 24 minute? And this is a really big mistake I think people make. Um, is they see most traders, ICT traders, they just use the 5 minute or they just use the 1 minute, and then maybe they help on the 1 hour to see if there's any unfilled gaps or like some stupid shit. Um, but I like to zoom in on the chart and not. You can zoom in on the chart by going through each and every time frame. What this means is you're basically gonna try to front run other time frames because let's say you get a big bump, small bump on the 50 minute. It's a very common, like, it's a very common time frame. So let's say you see this big wave, small. I just picked a random example. I didn't check yet, so I hope I hope it will be a little. Well, you can understand what I'm saying. If that makes sense. So let's say you're here. You have this 15-minute very good setup, and you can see maybe if this is your entry, it plays out very well. But you already missed like a pretty big move. Not that that's a problem, but let's say you are trading right here, and instead of that, momentum was kind of going like this. So it was kind of going up, kind of going sideways, but still up. It's not curving down yet. What you can do then, because you have a big wave, small wave here, but momentum is not aligning yet, you can go on a lower time frame, and if the momentum happens to be curving down, already on the a little smaller time frame, you're basically trying to front run because every smaller time frame will react faster than the bigger one. And now obviously you can go on the 1 hour and find a setup where momentum is not aligning and then go on the 1 minute and see that momentum is going in your way, but it's still not going on the 1 hour. That's obviously way too big of a difference. Um, and that's not gonna work. But let's say you're on a 1 hour, you see a big wave, small wave, but momentum is not really aligning yet. Maybe go on a 45 minute. Or go, if you're on a 6 hour and you see a setup, let me find one where momentum is not aligning. Here. You want to enter here, but you can see momentum is still curving up. Maybe if we, I'm not sure, but maybe if we put a red line right here, you wouldn't enter this yet. But then if you go to the 4 hour, you can see that it's already starting to loosen a bit. And on the 3 minute, you can see that it's already kind of going down. On the 2 hour, it's already going down. So if you do this on the lower time frame too, you can really front run a lot of setups. With that example was like momentum, but something else I really like to do is multi time frame, uh, like alignments or something. I don't know how you want to call it, whatever. Um, So let's say I'm on the 8 minute and I see a big wave and a small wave, and momentum is aligning, and maybe I want to enter. Wait, so here, let's take this one for example. Maybe if I see this on the 8 minute, I'm not sure if I'm gonna take it yet. What I do then is I go to the other time frames. Which one was it? Let me remove this one real quick. So what I do is I literally hop on the charts and I go through each and every time frame, starting from the 1 hour. These two I check later, but what I do is I hop on the charts, go to the 1 hour, mark out, oh, maybe this, maybe that, then go 45, 30, 24, 22, just work my way down to the 5 minute. So let's say you don't see anything on these time frames. Maybe you see a big bump, small bump on like the 8 minute. You're deciding, is this good enough to enter? Momentum is just not really curving down yet, so you move to a lower time frame. But what you can also do is go through each and every time frame. Because see here, on the 9 minute, big bump, small bump. On the 10 minute, big bump, small bump. 12 minute, big bump, small bump. 14 minute, big bump, small bump. 15 minute. That's where it stops. And then maybe the 60 minute, you see this very small divergence. Then you go to the 7 minute. That's not a big bump, small bump. 6 minute. You already would have gotten your entry maybe right here. Or the 5 minute, which is nothing. But as you can see, what I'm trying to show you here, so you have this 8 minute, big bump, small bump. Go to the 9 minute, you have it 2. 10 minute, 2. 12 minute, 2. 40 minute. So you have a lot of time frames aligning on the same setup, like the exact same thing. That's when you're really starting to get a lot of conviction, right? That's where you really wanna, because also look here, momentum is still going up here. So maybe let's say if you're just on a 40 minute, right? You see this form, but you see momentum is still coming up. If you go to the 12 minute, you can see that momentum is already really slowing down here. On the 10 minute, you can see it's already kind of going down. Because if we put a red line here, just remove those real quick. I hope I'm clear enough for you to understand, but so let's say you're sitting right here and you're seeing this form potentially and you're waiting, but you still see momentum up. Go to the 12 minute, you go to the 10 minute, and on the 10 minute you can see that it's already kind of starting to go down. If you really zoom in and then you keep working your way down to basically zoom in on what's happening. And again, you have yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 time frames where you see a big wave, small wave. What does that do? It gives you way more conviction for your short, and it's almost telling you to size, to put in more size than when you would only see one on the maybe the 8 minute. Because maybe you're on the 8 minute and you see a perfect setup, but on the 7 minute or the 6 minute and the 5 minute, all of those show a long setup. If you would only focus on the 8 minute, well, if in a normal, with a normal trader, not a normal trader, but you get what I mean, like a regular ICT trader, they're on a 5 minute and they see a setup, but maybe when you go on a 6, 7, or 8 or 9 or 10 minute, you see something totally different. That's where you will lose, and that's something you can avoid if you just work your way through each and every time frame that makes a little bit of sense. For example, the 24 minute is 1/10 of 4 hours, because 4 hours 60 minutes is 240 minutes divided by 10. So you're just essentially zooming in. And again, let's say you're on the 1 minute, right? You see this big wave, small wave, which is played out because you can see momentum going down. But in another instance, maybe you see this, but then you can see on the 3 minute maybe a long setup that is perfect. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna take the short or the long? You would not have seen the 3 minute or the 6 minute or the 7 minute, whatever, if you didn't go through each and every single one of the time frames and you would have missed it, and maybe that's why your trade lost. So if you're ever trading, you see a 50-minute, like you see a big wave, small wave, like right here. Let me see the chart. You see this, right? Let's say you're on a 15-minute and you want to short this, you would have maybe gotten your entry right here. But maybe it showed a perfect long setup on the 24-minute and the 22-minute and the 20-minute. If you knew that beforehand, before taking a trade, would you still take the short here if you saw that the 24-minute was the best long setup ever? No, I wouldn't, because basically it's just a 50-50. And then you can have like, oh yeah, it's a bigger time frame, so I would take the long because maybe on the 24-minute it's a little higher time frame, so it would theoretically be stronger, but I don't know. So that's why it's so important to just zoom in on a lot of different time frames. So you can, one, front run, two, you can see the chart from a lot of different perspectives, and three, you can identify why your trade failed. Maybe if you forgot to do it before taking the trade. And four, you can avoid losses. Another thing I like to do is I don't really have a clear example of this right now, but let's say I'm on a 5-minute, right? Or let's say I'm on a 50-minute, and I'm just gonna go through to blank space right now. So let's say I'm right here, we're trading right here, and we saw this big wave on a 50-minute, and then momentum is kind of just going like this, and then you can see kind of like this. So this is the signal wave and this is the volume wave. The setup hasn't formed yet, right? But you can, this will come with experience, and this is what I do, and it's working really, really well for me lately. And don't just blindly do this. I'm just saying you have to have experience for this, but I'm just giving you an insight on how I do it. So let's say you see this setup and it hasn't formed yet, and momentum is kind of going up, but it's not really strong. So let's say it's just going sideways like this, right? What you can do now is you can go on what I would do is I would go on the lower time frames and then just remove this in your head for now. But let's say you're waiting on this 15-minute to form, and you can see a 10-minute or a 7-minute or a 5-minute. So if we go on a 5-minute, maybe it's already done this. So we're trading, right? Wait, actually, let me. Let's say we're trading like this and momentum is already going like this. You can enter already on this setup, and maybe on the 5-minute you would target like a little low, or you would go for this low or go for this high, whatever. But then if you see that every time frame is aligning, and even the really high time frames like the 50-minute, well, it's not really high, but you know what I mean. Then you can, what I do is front run this setup and add more size, because so many time frames are aligning that haven't even formed yet. So that's giving me like confidence for this move to be bigger, if you understand what I mean. Because if you would just trade the 50-minute, you would see this and price would already be going like this, and then when this finally forms, it's just giving a little bit more juice and then going back up. Imagine you could have got this entire move because all you had to do was just zoom out on a little other time frames. Or let's say you're on the 1 hour, right? You're on the 1 hour and you see like this. You have a big wave. Well, it's not a big wave. You have a big wave, and then it's gonna go like this, and then you can see it's going up. Momentum is kind of just going like this. So momentum is not going up, but this signal wave is far from crossing and forming a setup. What you can then do is go into the 45 minute. Maybe it has already formed by then. Maybe it has already gone like this on the 45 minute. Or you go on the 30 minute, it has already gone like that too. Again, you're just trying to front run these setups while they didn't even happen yet. Or maybe another instance, right? Maybe this is the 1 hour. And it's a perfect setup. It's about to form a perfect setup, but you're not sure yet. It hasn't formed yet. And then you go on a 45 minute and it can look totally different. So maybe it looks something like this. This is not something we would take because we want a big wave and we want a small wave. But if we can see that on the 45 minute, this has already happened. So the signal wave has already crossed into the darker wave, like right here or here. Even if it didn't form the perfect setup, we can still kind of say, oh, because it's on a little lower time frame, we're trying to front run and it has already formed this small wave. So it will likely form a small wave on the 1 hour too, if it didn't happen yet. So again, you're just trying to front run these setups and this will come with experience. But that's just something I really wanted to tell you. So again, I hop on the charts. Let's go back. Let's do a little back testing session right now. So let's say I go right here. I hop on. What do I do? For now, I'll go through to the 4 hour too. We're starting from the 4 hour. What can we see? Momentum is down. Volume is down a little bit. Nothing crazy here. 3 hour, nothing. Just momentum going down. 2 hour, this is already a little interesting because we have this divergence right here. Big wave, small wave. So we keep that in mind, but this is not nowhere near valid setup because momentum on every time frame was just really going down. 1 hour, the same, momentum is down. We're not looking at anything right now but shorts. 45 minute, this is exactly what I do. I just go through each and every single one of them. You can see that the 45 minute, this little wave got this entire dump, which was really good. But let's say right here on a 30 minute, this is exactly, I hope this will play out for this instant. This is exactly what I was talking about. We have this big wave and we can see that it's about to form something. We are not sure yet at all. We're not sure, but we can see that it might form something. So we go into the 20, we keep this in mind, 30 minute. And then we see this. We see a big wave, small wave, but momentum is not really doing anything yet. So then 22 minute, if it wants to load. We see this about to form too. Because I'm already like, maybe this could be a good move up. This is actually a really good example. Then why is it loading so slow? Then we go here and we can see big wave, small wave, and momentum is really slowing down. 18 minute. Come on. Divergence, momentum is going up. 15 minute. Big wave, small wave. Okay, this is really good. This is actually a really good example. I would 100,000% long this. We didn't even go through all this. See, momentum is going up. 5 minute. Momentum is going up. It's looking very good. So what do we want to do? Normally, I would definitely use other tools. I would have my POI detector on, but I'm not going to do all of that for now. And I'm not sure at all this trade is going to play out. I do think it's going to play out. I'm pretty sure. So what I would do is I put my stops either here or here. Let's just put them here for now. And I would target either these highs, or I would just maybe for example, if there was a sea of POIs here on the 1 hour, there was a POI on the 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, a lot of POIs. So that's then essentially a little like where we want to go, but let's for now just put it here. Well, actually, we can put it here. For example, if this was, for now it's the highest FEG, but let's say this was some POI, some bearish POIs, we would have to put it there. And then what I would do is would take this level, I would mark it as break even, and if it closes above here, I would put my stops break even, and take a partial. So, or maybe I missed this, maybe you don't know this, but I always use Heiken Ashi candles. See, if you go to your candles, I use these. It's way smoother, it's way more accurate for me, and I would never trade this on regular candles. That's just my personal preference. But anyways, again, 15 minute is really good. We worked our way up. 24 minute is about to form because momentum is not really going up yet. 30 minute, we can see this, and this could probably be a very good move. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but let's just play it out. And we hit full TP. Wow, this is actually the best example ever. We hit full TP. We almost got fucked here for putting our stops break even, but it just missed our entry. So this was the number one thing I want. I don't know how much higher this is gonna go. Let's see it actually. It's just going sideways here. Anyways, how big of a move was this? It was like 1%. That's huge on NQ. And how did we catch it? From a 15 minute, because again, this was our entry right here. We saw this and we saw, now it's obvious because this was really, really helpful. When we go to the brush, we were going like this and we wouldn't have taken it yet, but because or on the 30 minute even, it did exactly what we thought it would do, and we predicted that simply by going into different and lower time frames. So this also didn't form yet, but then we went lower, and this perfect divergence, this is the best setup ever, but perfect divergence. We're working our way down. Every setup is just bullish, and we're really, really high conviction on this. And this is exactly the things I trade, the setups I take. I also do this on lower time frames. So I go 9 minute, 8 minute, 10 minute, 7 minute, 6 minute, and just try to front run each and every single setup. So again, I'm gonna say one more time. Let's say we're on the 10 minute, right? We saw this. See, maybe this is the best. Maybe this is a good example. Hopefully, we can see it live. We have a big wave here, and we can see this is not formed the setup yet, but we can kind of, from experience, tell maybe if we go on. Yo, I'm sorry, my audio got cut off. So let's continue. What I was saying, I think, was think about this as if you would only be trading on a 15 minute right now. So we're on the 10 minute, but ignore that. Imagine this was the 15 minute and it was the only thing you was trading. You would see this and you would not be like, this is a setup. You would not be trying to front run this because momentum is up. But so you would miss this. What I do is, again, go here. You can see, this is looking good. Then you can go to the 8 minute, to the 7 minute. If it wants to load. And you can see it's already getting a lot better. 6 minute. So let's say we skip another candle. It would be one candle. Oh my god, that was a big nuke. But now, hello. If you go to the lower time frames, we can see that the 7 minute just formed a great setup. The 6 minute formed a great setup. And the 10 minutes still didn't give any setup. 40 minute is good, 50 minute is good. But then when you see the 12 minute here, you can see that we saw a big wave, smaller wave, smaller wave. And maybe, again, think about it. If this was the only time frame you were trading, you would see this and you might want a long. And you'd be like, oh, this is a good setup for longs. And then you didn't check these other time frames and you get absolutely fucked because of this candle. And you don't understand, like, why did there was a good setup? Why did my trade fail? It was because you didn't zoom in. You didn't check any other time frames. because you can clearly see that all these other time frames are really bearish. So let's say we would still open a short right here. This would be my entry. I have no idea if this is gonna hit take profit or not. We would put our stops above this high. Where would we wanna? I would put maybe my TP right here, or maybe we had, for example, a lot of POIs right here. I would maybe put it here. For now, let's just put it here. If I was scalping on my prop firm, if you are on a prop firm, this would be more than enough for a trade. If you use the right size, this would be more than enough to get in your, if you have a cheap account, your max daily profit for consistency, or your minimum profit day, because you want to get close to payout. Again, I don't care about my risk to reward. I literally don't care. Because let's say we have this, we have a lot, let's say we would be a regular ICT trader and be like, oh, I put my stops there and I want to always get a 3 risk to reward. Exactly. I don't care where my take profit is as long as it's a 3 risk to reward. And maybe there were a lot of POIs right here, bullish POIs on every time frame. What could happen? Because you didn't put your take profit at a price that made sense on the charts, but you put it just to have a magical RR number, a risk to reward. So what it might do is you'd go like this, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna let this trade play out because I always want my 3 risk to reward, and I am not an emotional trader. Obviously, I'm being very sarcastic right now and imitating ICT traders on TikTok, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna let my emotion interfere. I'm not gonna take any partials," and they would go into these POIs, and it would just bang go straight to your stop loss. That's because you didn't base your take profit on anything. But what we want to do is that we have a big wave, small wave, because it failed to break the high. So our guess is to put a new low. After that, we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know where it's gonna bottom. So what I do is I put a take profit, but what you could also very, very well do is just don't put a take profit and just see what the market has to give you. This is what I do on crypto, but not with prop firms on NQ. That's so on crypto I just see what the market has to give, and when I start seeing bullish signs, I just get out or take a partial or whatever. But for this, so it's up to you how you take profit. But for this, I would want to target this lows. I don't know if it's gonna it hit within 2 candles. I don't know how much further it's gonna go. A little lower. See, again, it's exactly what I was talking about. If we would have targeted maybe like 3 risk to reward, it would have been a good trade, but we had a stop loss because we didn't base it on anything, and maybe there were a lot of bullish POIs right there. So that's another tip for me: base your take profits on something. And I hope this also showed you how I front run and how I trade, because and how important it is to have multiple time frames. Because let's say we had our entry like right here, I think, but let's say we would take this exact thing and we wouldn't be looking at any other time frames. Maybe our entry would have been probably around here or here. So we'd miss a little of the move, and that's not a big deal, but I just want to have the best entry, so that's why I try to front run everything basically. Um, and you wouldn't, if you would put it here, what's gonna be your TP? Maybe this level, but it's up to you. Um, I'll find another example. By the way, I really hope I'm explaining it well. I didn't really find any setups that I was gonna show. I'm just doing this literally from blank right now. So I hope I'm not yapping and all that. But let's find another setup. There's a lot of them, but I just wanna find the right one. Oh wait, actually let's scroll till we see something. These are not that interesting. Maybe we can form a small wave right now. Okay, this could be an example. Say you're trading right here. I don't know if this is gonna be working, but let's say we're trading. I do not know. I have no idea what's gonna happen to this price next, so I'm just gonna do what I would do. We see this. Again, this hasn't formed a setup yet at all, but we're gonna try to front run it. So 24 minute, we have the same exact thing. 22 minute, 20 minute, exact same thing. This is this is what I love. What is happening right now is for me is perfect. Even this is experience and it's not really based on on really front running, but from experience, I already know that price is probably gonna drop now. Maybe it isn't. I don't know anything about news or war or anything that is happening on this moment. But I would already be very confident in short right now, even if we didn't fill this trigger wave yet. But if you just do that randomly, you will probably get fucked. But let's see if we can front run this on a lower time frame. Backtesting is always so slow on TradingView. After this, I think I'm gonna go to on the higher time frames too, but I don't know what's happening right now, bro. 5 minute, maybe we see a divergence there. 6 minute, 7 minute. We don't really see a lot, but then again, this could be the front run if we're on the 24 minute to 22 minute to 20 minute. The 50 minute could be our front run potentially, because what we see here, it's formed right now. Oh, it isn't actually formed. Maybe here. The 24 minute still hasn't formed. The 22 minute has formed a divergence. Oh, the 22 minute has formed a big wave, small wave there. Divergence there. 60 minute big wave, smaller wave. 50 minute, I would enter a short right now. Again, I have no idea what's going on with war or news or any political macroeconomical things. I don't know. I would target this low. Maybe I would target this and put my partials here. Let's actually do that. This might burst fully through stop loss, and it still wouldn't be a bad trade. I would take this any day, but you're not always going to be right. Momentum is kind of strong though, so if this trade ends up losing, we probably know why. But this is also a really, really good setup on a 30 minute, 45 minute, 1 hour. Let's just see what happens. Oh, yo, yo, bro, I swear on everything, I did not check the price before this, but this is just exactly what I mean. What time was this? It was at 3. Oh, it was New York. Yeah, it was New York Open. So if we would be, if let's say I was on a live stream right now, this is crazy. What the fuck? But let's say I was on a live stream right now, we would have 100% got this because this is exactly what I do. This is exactly the trades I want to take. Um, see you on the lower time. Wow, that is actually crazy though. We would have taken parcels right there and full TP there. And that's what I mean. That's what I would do with crypto. Is I wouldn't have a TP and I would have made a lot of money on this short. Like a shit ton. Because I wouldn't have I would just have parcels, but I would just be waiting on seeing what the move has to give and not putting a real TP, but more like a soft TP, but it moves like 1%. Um, yo, this is crazy. But so we did a few trades right now on backtest and they all hit. They were all good. Yo, I'm sorry, my audio cut off again. I hope this was everything um, that you guys needed from me. I hope I explained it well with visuals. I didn't, as I said, I didn't like put in any work before this video. I just doing it off the tip of my brains right now. I had nothing prepared. So I hope I did all right. I hope you understand. Maybe it's a little messy video, but I just want to show you the main thing I do when trading. So, wow, I would take this, of course. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this helped, and always leave feedback in chat. Um, or tell me anything I can do better. And that was it. Thank you. Bye.